When you imagine a military vehicle, what comes to mind? Perhaps a massive tank, heavily armored vehicle with enormous wheels, or a combat machine so heavy that it seems capable of crushing anything in its path. In fact, the opposite can be true. In the military world, there are small machines that may look simple or even resemble ordinary vehicles. But once they enter extreme terrain, these vehicles can become incredibly impressive machines. Imagine a small vehicle entering a dense forest, crossing rocky trails, climbing steep slopes, and then moving through mud that could bring much larger vehicles to a standstill. This is exactly why lightweight military vehicles have their own important role. Sometimes, the ability to reach places that larger vehicles cannot access is far more valuable than simply having massive size and heavy armor. One interesting example is the lightweight reconnaissance vehicle. It may be small and relatively light, but it is designed to move quickly and remain highly maneuverable. Vehicles like these are generally not designed to directly confront heavy combat vehicles. Their mission is different. They are better suited for transporting personnel, conducting reconnaissance, carrying equipment, or supporting unit mobility in difficult terrain. And this is where their small size becomes an advantage. The larger a vehicle becomes, the more space it needs to maneuver. But a small vehicle can turn around on narrow trails, move between trees, and travel along paths that may simply be too narrow for armored vehicles. Point 10. Imagine a military unit moving through mountainous terrain. There is no proper road. The route consists of nothing more than a narrow dirt trail filled with large rocks and steep inclines. A heavy vehicle might have to stop, but a lightweight vehicle equipped with the right suspension and drivetrain may still have a chance to keep moving. This is one reason why the tactical buggy has become such an interesting concept. These vehicles may look like a combination of a recreational vehicle and an extreme off-road machine. But don't be fooled. In a military environment, designs like these serve very serious purposes. Their lightweight construction allows them to move quickly. Specialized suspension helps them cross rough terrain, and their compact size makes them easier to transport into operational areas. In some operational concepts, vehicles like these can even be transported by aircraft or helicopters before being deployed in the field. Imagine a small vehicle that was previously inside an aircraft, then dropped off in a remote area. Within a relatively short period of time, that vehicle can be ready to support personnel mobility. And it is not only wheeled vehicles that are interesting. There are also small vehicles that use tracked systems. This concept can provide advantages when the vehicle has to move across soft or unstable surfaces. Mud, sand, wet ground, and rocky terrain are major challenges for any vehicle. But tracked systems can help distribute the vehicle's weight over a larger contact area. The result? The vehicle has a better chance of maintaining traction and continuing to move when the terrain becomes increasingly extreme. However, small vehicles are certainly not perfect. There is one major weakness that cannot be ignored: protection. Lightweight vehicles generally cannot provide the same level of protection as heavily armored combat vehicles. That is why their operational concept is different. They do not always rely on thick armor to survive. Instead, they rely on mobility, speed, maneuverability, and the ability to take advantage of the terrain. In the military world, the ability to move quickly and choose the right route can sometimes be just as important as having heavy protection. Now imagine these small vehicles equipped with modern technology. Cameras, sensors, communication systems, digital navigation, and various electronic systems can transform a relatively simple vehicle into a much more advanced military platform. The development of unmanned technology makes the concept even more interesting. A small vehicle does not necessarily have to carry a large number of personnel to perform certain missions. These vehicles can be developed into platforms capable of carrying sensors or specialized equipment, allowing human operators to remain in safer positions. And the future could make these vehicles even more fascinating. Electric vehicle technology, for example, offers different capabilities. Electric motors can produce high torque almost instantly, which can be extremely useful when a vehicle has to tackle steep climbs or difficult terrain. At the same time, advances in battery technology and electric drivetrains continue to create opportunities for military vehicles that can operate more quietly and efficiently under certain conditions. But there is one important thing we should never forget. Combat environments are never truly friendly to machines. Vehicles must deal with dust, mud, rain, extreme heat, rocks, water, and countless other conditions that can damage mechanical components. That is why a small vehicle truly designed for military use needs a strong structure, durable suspension, reliable drivetrain, and practical maintenance capabilities. And that is precisely where the real strength of these small vehicles lies. They may not have the intimidating size of a tank, but they are built around one fundamental goal: to keep moving when the terrain says, stop. In forests, they can search for narrower routes. In the mountains, they can follow the contours of the terrain. In deserts, they can take advantage of their low weight and specialized wheel configurations. And in muddy environments, traction and drivetrain performance become their greatest assets. So, do military vehicles have to be huge to be powerful? The answer is not that simple, because in many situations, the most useful vehicle is not the biggest one, but the one capable of going where other vehicles simply cannot. And perhaps that is the most fascinating lesson from lightweight military vehicles. Size is not everything in extreme terrain. A small, fast, agile, and rugged machine capable of traveling through seemingly impossible places can be far more valuable than a giant vehicle that cannot move even a single meter when the terrain turns extreme.